So we all know the story of the princess in the tower. She was kidnapped, held against her will, and a brave knight or someone eventually finds her and rescues her. But what if Rapunzel wasn't actually kidnapped? And what if she was instead perhaps the greatest swindler you will ever read of? Hi, I'm Chantel from Fairly Bookish. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and also here on TikTok under the handle Fairly Bookish. And today we are going to be talking about Rapunzel's Gambit. This is Mary Meekum's latest book. It's coming out on May 23rd. It is part of a series, All That Glitters, and oh my goodness, guys, you are in for quite the adventure when you read this book. So, this is a Rapunzel like none I have ever read. I've read around, I want to say 20 different Rapunzel retellings, and a lot of them stick kind of close to the Disney-ish story that we know, where Rapunzel is either kidnapped as a child and taken someplace, or kidnapped as a young adult and taken someplace. It just kind of depends on that author's plot. And someone comes and rescues her. But that's not the case in this book. Oh no. So I had the honor of getting to read this one before it became an arc, and I had already a pretty good idea that this was not going to be your traditional Rapunzel. I knew it was going to be a villainous retelling, and I knew that there was perhaps one of the biggest plot twists yet in this book. But did that prepare me for what ensued on these pages? Not really. And I'm not going to spoil that for you, but I am going to tell you a little bit about this book. I really love that the characters in a lot of Mary's books are very strong, sassy, witty women. They aren't the placid princess. And this one here, she is by far the sassiest, I think, of all of them. I kind of thought that Dahlia in the last book, Legends of Neverland book, was probably the most conflicted villainess that I've ever read, but Rapunzel has none of those qualms that Dahlia did. Dahlia was a villain because she felt she had to be. Rapunzel's a villain because she wants to be. So, to start out the story, Rapunzel is the only daughter of a king who doesn't really have a great reputation in his kingdom. And I'm not quite sure that Rapunzel's helping him out any, but she really does do what she wants to do, and she finds her own way into getting the attention she wants and also just kind of finding her way in the world. I won't say that all of her behavior is entirely her choice. I think that it makes sense that given how she was raised, that she may have fallen into some of these behaviors because of that. But she leans heavily on her sort of persona as a bit of a troublemaker to create the most epic escape. So when her father makes a bargain with the town that offers her hand in marriage to the first person who can slay the dragon, she doesn't want anything to do with that. She does not want that. She wants to choose her own way, she wants to make her own choices, and she doesn't want to be a part of her father's plans, nor does she want to slay the dragon because she has an idea. So, her idea? Find the dragon, team up with him, and start swindling the greedy people in her kingdom and the kingdoms around her for a good cause. And that's pretty much what she does. So she kidnaps herself and she leaves. She finds the dragon, and they set out on this epic, hilarious, banter-filled, sometimes absolutely insane journey of basically scamming everybody into thinking that Rapunzel is stuck in this tower because she's kidnapped. Then they kidnap whoever comes to rescue her and demand a ransom. And they keep doing this and using the funds to take care of the people her father refuses to take care of, which is the poor people. Now, I don't want to give too many more details because you really have to read this book to get the full scope of the story and how amazing it is, but there is more than one plot twist. There is a lot of hilarious conversation between not only Rapunzel and the dragon, but Rapunzel and a squire that you will quickly meet in the book, and it kind of sets up this whole complicated and slightly confusing experience as a reader because Griffin is at odds with the dragon, and Rapunzel is caught in the middle. I think that's all I'm going to say about that. But needless to say, there is a lot of strategy, and this is definitely a book about a game of wits. Not just because Rapunzel is very good at playing chess, as is Griffin, but because mentally everyone is playing a game to try to get what they want, and she believes that she is in control of the game. But is she really? You kind of have to read it to find out. Not everything goes as planned for anyone in this book, but I can guarantee you that no matter how much I thought I was prepared for the twist when it came, I was not. It's still absolutely jaw-dropped because all of these little things that I was picking up as I had read the book kind of clicked into place in this one massive explosion of, aha, that's what was actually going on. It was the best. Absolutely the best plot twist yet. So, maybe a new favorite? I don't know. I still really love Assassins of Fire and Sacrifice, and this book actually mentions that, which pretty much made my entire year. But this definitely, probably my best, most hilarious, top Rapunzel retelling that I read in a really long time. If you're looking for something that is completely different than any other Rapunzel retelling, if you want a twist like you've never heard before about the girl who was kidnapping herself and the dragon who was helping her swindle the countries around her, this is a book you don't want to miss. It's releasing on May 23. You can grab it on Amazon. It is available, as you can see, in this gorgeous paperback, or you can grab it on Kindle Unlimited. So lots of options. This whole series is going to be excellent. I've read 3 books in it so far, all 3 of them completely unique. You do not need to read them in any particular order because they are standalone stories. They just all have to do with treasure. And you won't regret it. You will not regret reading this at all. So until next time, until the next book, happy reading.